So today I'm looking at how we can modulate external plugins, VSTs, AU plugins, using the effects in Ableton Live. If you weren't aware of this, you have possibilities to link LFOs to your plugins and modulate parameters which may not be available for modulation in the plugins themselves. In this instance here, I'm modulating 3 of the wave indexes and using the LFO to flick between the different waveforms to give me this ever-changing timbre of sound. Let's have a quick listen, then I'll show you again how to set this up. It's very simple. It's not going to be a long video, this one. Okay, just have a quick listen then. So you might have in your VST AU collection a synthesizer where you want to expand the possibilities of modulation. I'm using here as an example the Prophet VS, and I noticed that it wasn't possible. If I go into the advanced, it has a lot of modulation functions. Here I can draw them up. So we have a lot of destinations for the modulations, but one that was missing was the ability to modulate this list of wavetables. And as I say, the solution to this was to use the plugin. Maybe I can turn this off for a second. Mute that. The solution to this was to use the LFOs within Ableton to perform this function. So when you drop in a plugin, you'll get a little box like this in the audio effects here. And if we click on this down arrow here, we have the possibility to configure it. This little spanner opens and closes the plugin. So if we drop in an LFO, then by clicking on the configure, I can select here, let's choose just a number, it doesn't matter, 64, the wave index. I could then close that one. Well, let's just stick with 1 at the moment. So I have that now linked to this effect. If I now map this here to the LFO and increase the rate, you'll see that it's being modulated. So when I play the tone back, you might have some strange effects with some of these plugins. I noticed that, I don't know if it's my clunky old computer or whether the plugin itself can't keep up, but if I really modulate the LFO, then the graphics can't quite keep up, and sometimes they glitch out, but the audio doesn't glitch out, so it's just a visual problem. And this here then, I can change the modulation amount. If I decrease this, you'll see it doesn't modulate so much. Increase this value, it'll modulate more. So I can do that with 1. I can repeat that again. Let's take this one here. Try and choose the middle value. I don't think it makes any difference. There we go. And then I close this again. Click here. I can map the second one. I can give this a different value so they're never in sync. Let's say 40% on this one, 41. I think it's understandable. I could choose something else in the plugin. I mean, there is an LFO to modulate the plugin. Modulate the cutoff, but let's just use it as an example. I can take the cutoff. Maybe I don't want such a high value here. Let's say maybe 10%, and let's map this here. We can move it here. So now we're controlling 3 functions within the plugin. I can increase the rate till it gets a bit bonkers. Musical divisions, different waveforms. So it works fine and it allows you to expand the possibilities within your plugin. Another option would be to go to MIDI effects and drop in a MIDI envelope. Put it in the front here. We could now, if we didn't want to have our filter here, let's open this up again. Let's remove that. I'll use the filter as an example. There is a filter envelope in here, but just as an example, we can configure the, we have the cutoff configured, so we can just simply map it to this. And now we have a filter envelope. Okay, so it's very simple to set up. Once you have your selection, you can group them together into a group and expand this with some macro controls. So I could map the rate of this LFO here, perhaps the shape of the LFO here, the 4, let's unmap that, the attack, decay, sustain and release of the envelope here, and then I could control these from a MIDI controller as an example. Okay, so it's just a short video. Just thought it would be interesting to go into this this idea for people who aren't aware that this is possible. Thanks for watching, I think. Take care.